That's the center of the TV. Okay? Now, you might think, oh, okay, just put the bracket right in the center like that. Well, I can't do that, can I? Because it's only 8 inches from here over. So, that means I'm going to have my bracket assembly like from there to the right, because that's where the holes are, right? Or I'm going to have to come this way. And once I have this, if I have it over here, let's say, remember the arm up here will swivel over to a little bit, and the TV, the center of the TV could be about right there. Then I'll have to slide on the back side of the TV over, all the way over, so that I can take the TV and scoot it that way, right? I would rather do that because going that way is where the dining room is. So see, if I was like right here, I could still make the middle of the TV because the swivel would be slid over a little bit. I could take this arm that goes on here, flip it over this way, and then push it over even further. But remember, if I do that, what's going to happen? The TV is going to be about here. When you come walking in from the main door, you're going to see this bracket assembly sticking out to the right side of the TV. I don't want that, do I? That's why you got to think about your project. Because if I have it over here, this may pooch out beyond the TV, but yet I don't think it's going to. But even if it does, I really don't have much choice with that. But there's a door over here, a back door. So it's only about 5 or 6 feet away from this edge. So when people come walking in and they see the nice TV, they're not going to see this bracket assembly sticking out beyond it. You follow? So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. But before I do that, I'm just going to kind of look at the whole assembly on the back side of the TV to convince myself this is where I want to put it. I like to put these bolts in. I pre-drilled a hole and I made sure I got the right size drill bit. On the directions it even tells you what size drill bit to use for a pilot hole. And then I just put these in all the way, and then I'll back them out and get ready to install my bracket. That way when I hold the bracket up here, I can just take that with my hands and kind of twist it in a little bit until it grabs, and then I can start. A lot easier to do that, okay? Kind of cleans your hole out, and if you got a knot in there or something like that, hopefully you can get that out of there. Or if it's going so tight, maybe you use the wrong size drill bit, and you don't want to find that out after you're trying to hold this up here and jostle it into place. And because if you don't put in the right size drill bit for the pilot hole, and if there's a knot in there or a really hard piece of wood that you're putting it in, your stud's 30 years old or whatever, you may think, oh, I'll just ram it in there. And it gets tighter and tighter, and you think, I'll just keep doing that with the ratchet. And believe it or not, and I've done it, you can twist the head right off the bolt. Once you do that, now you're kind of messed up, especially if you can't maneuver this around, or you may have to raise this up a little bit and drill some new holes, get another lag bolt somewhere, and all that. So be careful when you're putting those in. Make sure you put this facing up, that the top is at the top. You know, so this one's not really heavy. If this was a whole mount assembly, it'd be a lot heavier. But I can just hold it up there, and I put a pencil line level on here so I can line that up like that when I get ready. And now, I can just kind of twist it in through the sheetrock and just get it kind of started into the wood, just with my finger, because I cleaned it out and tightened it up all the way first, okay? Now I can go ahead and maybe put this one in up here. And I'll just get it just so it's started into the wood. You know, now I can go ahead and put my other ones, and then I can figure out where this goes. Because remember, I got this is on a little slide, just a little bit on here, on both ends. So I get the bolts up there, we'll figure out what to do here. Now, were you watching what I was doing? If you said, hey, what about the washer, Joe? You are absolutely correct. You know, don't forget to put your washers on. That's going to help hold the bracket a little better. You know, read your directions and make sure you get everything done the right way. Now, did I do that on purpose or did I just forget? I'll let you be the judge of that. Okay, don't forget your washers on all the bolts. Before I bolt this securely to the wall, let's think about this for a second. I've got a slide notch here, and I can slide this to the right that far or slide it to the left about the same distance. Okay? I want to be careful because I don't want to mark up the wall. Now, off to that side is the dining room. Here's the center. This is the center of where the TV is going to be. All right? Now, we've already made the determination that if we line this up center to center, the TV is still going to cover over here, and it's going to end up coming over this way further, and that's good because I'd rather have the bracket assembly not showing as somebody comes walking in from the main front door, because this TV is going to be sticking out away from the wall just a little bit, you know. And if they tilt it or anything like that, there could be a big gap here so that you could see back in here. But when they look back inside, I want them to kind of see sheetrock rather than this whole frame sticking way over here. That's why we put it off to the left. But now I got to cheat the TV over to the right for this bracket. Does that make sense? So here's the center. I could do it right there, but I'm going to cheat it to the right just a little bit. Now I'll go ahead and bolt it. And I see where my center line mark is, and I'm just going to put it up here just for a reference. And that tells me where the center of the TV is. Because I have that line down here at the bottom for my level, I can raise this up right on my line and center down. Now what happens if you got the bolts in here and for some reason, no matter what you do after you pre-drilled your holes and line that up, this bracket assembly is not perfectly level. You know, if you get it close, that's all you need. Don't sweat it out if you don't get it perfect, because once we install the TV and get it on there, there's an adjustment on the back of that, and we can jockey that back and forth where it's perfect. Here's one more thing that will help you to install this either by yourself or with somebody else. Run the bracket out straight like this. That way when you push it onto this head, it's not going to accordion back. If you have this accordioned over, it's always going to want to push up against the wall. You're not going to be able to see what you're doing. So I just ran this straight out, you know. That way I could get back in here and kind of hold it up, look at that, and know that I can pull on it back this way and it's not going to accordion back into the wall. Okay, so there's a good little tip for you. Wow, that looks nice. I leveled it all up, and now the moment of truth. To measure from the ground up to the bottom. What did we want? Do you remember? 49 inches. How close did I get? Okay, here's the bottom edge of the TV, this plastic right here. All right, let's see what we got. I hope I measured right. Moment of truth. What do I have? Look at that. I'm tight down to the carpet. 49 inches. I mean, that is perfect. It's not even a 1/16 of an inch off one way or another. Now, it's okay. Hey, I thought I was going to be close, but I didn't know I was going to be right on. Okay, but because I did all that extra measuring and all that figuring out, it came out right. You've got to do that on your project, and you can do it too. There it is. Now when you get all done, you can take this plastic off, but this is just protecting the trim. I'm gonna leave that for the owner to take off. And it also came with a nice little cloth to wipe off the front. You never want to use just a regular rag to wipe that off. It comes with a little cloth, and then you can wipe that off with that. Well, what do you think? Did you learn anything? I hope so. That's it for this project. See you next time.